Hey, what's up? DFS Rico coming at you with my picks and insight for this EU Masters 6-game slate on Friday, April 24th. So, before I get started, if you can subscribe, like. I've been getting decent subscribers here and there lately, which I do appreciate. Comment if you have any questions, if you have any ideas, topics you would like me to speak about, things you would want me to get into when I'm describing certain plays and stuff like that. I'd gladly do that. Whatever helps you guys, whatever you think will help you guys improve on this as well. But like I usually do, getting started, I'm going to run through the favorites on Vegas favorites for the slate. And then I'll let you guys know what I think. So early on, you have Energy Pot Wizards. You have a lot of picks on this that are just kind of toss-ups. You have Energy Pot versus eSuba. Practically a toss-up. Mouse Esports versus Fnatic Rising. Another toss-up. Vodafone Giants versus Diffuse Kids, which are the second biggest favorites on the slate. Then you got Team LDLC, practically a toss-up. XL UK versus Gamer Legion, practically a toss-up. Gamers Origin versus YDN Devils. And you got a Gamers Origin heavily favored. They're the biggest favorites on the slate for sure. I'm going to run through the picks from yesterday just so I can give you some insight. If you listened to the odds, the Vegas odds, you would have seen, you probably would have been fine. I think there was only 2 upsets as far as Vegas odds, which is Fnatic lost to Energy Pot Wizards, and then Kick Esports, which I did mention in my last video. If you were playing GPP, that was the team I was looking at. I actually won some decent money because of that. Stacked them. I ended up stacking them with Mouse Esports. And then, so I practically went 4-2 with the picks. If I was going off what I was saying, I did lose on the Fnatic Academy, but I did get the Kick Esports Club right. Tomorrow, I'm kind of going... my opinion, I do think Energy Pot Wizards will beat eSuba. Energy Pot has actually looked good. They played 2 of the top 3 teams in this series and played well, even when they lost against Game 1. The first day against Mouse Esports, they lost, and they didn't look bad, actually. And then they come back and beat Fnatic Academy, which is one of the favorites to win this event. They're looking good. eSuba hasn't looked too good. They've dropped both games, one versus Fnatic and one versus Mouse, so you can't blame them. They played good teams. I'm leaning towards them. I got Mouse beating Fnatic just based off of those first 2 games. Mouse has just looked better. They look cleaner, honestly. And then Vodafone Giants over Diffuse Kids. I don't mind that one. We've only seen 1 game on them. And LDLC and Rogue, we've only seen 1 game. So those are both kind of toss-ups. But Vodafone Giants seem like, by Vegas odds, they are the biggest favorites. Then you got LDLC versus Rogue, which is looking like it's a toss-up, so that's kind of like a GPP play in my opinion. I think today's a good day to play GPPs just due to the fact that there's so many close matches, and if you're taking the underpriced players, it's going to benefit you if they end up winning. It's going to benefit you a ton just because their prices are so much lower for like practically toss-ups. You don't know how they're going to go. And then XL UK versus Gamer Legion. I'm surprised XL UK is priced higher than Gamer Legion. They didn't look too good on their first game. They were the better team, in my opinion. One of the better teams coming into this event, but they did not look good at all. And Gamer Legion actually looked well. They played well. They played really good. They played the game. They slowed it down. They did what they needed to do. So I do like Gamer Legion and GPPs if I am going to be playing that. And then you got YDN Gamers versus Gamers Origin, which is the biggest favorites. So I'm just going to run through my picks, who I think is going to win. I do got Energy Pot Wizards winning. Got Mouse winning. Got Vodafone Giants winning. I got that one. I got Rogue winning. I got Gamer Legion winning and Gamers Origin winning. So those are my favorites for the slate, just off the teams. We'll see how I go. I'll run back the picks tomorrow and let you know how I do. But for cash specifically, I'm going Gamers Origin, Vodafone Giants, and Mouse Esports. Those top 3 teams are probably the best cash options, honestly. All right, so we're going to go back, look at DraftKings. Like I mentioned, the teams already. You got your top laners. You got VG. You got the Antonio. Looked pretty solid in his first game out. Was able to get that bonus with 11 assists. Looked good out there. Shemek. Like I mentioned, these guys only have one game, so we don't have too much knowledge on them. The guys we do have more knowledge on are the guys that have played at least 2 matches on this in this series, the EU Masters series. So like Tolkien. Doesn't have his stats, but he played well today. Then you got guys like Pride for Fnatic. He looked good if you're going to be playing an underdog. I don't mind him. 5.8k is not a bad price for an underdog. And then you got phones. Like I like a lot of these Gamer Legion guys and a lot of these Wizard guys. So I feel like today is a good day to play GPPs for sure. Play those 2 teams with one of the heavy favorites like Mouse Esports or something. You might be able to get some good cash today, some good GPP money. Llama Bear, 7.8k, looks solid first game out. 54.6 fantasy points, 18.8 assists as a jungler. Solid, killed it. Diffuse Kids, not that good of a team either. Then you got YDN and GO, Gamers Origin. Gamers Origin didn't look explosive their first game. They won, they got the job done, but they didn't look too explosive. Then you got LDLC's, Tinks. Tinks is probably their best player in my opinion. It's between Tinks. Yeah, I think Tinks is their best player. 39.1 points in a loss. Pretty good. Played really well that first time out. But I do think, I do like RGO. Zanzura looked good out there first time out. Only got 3 assists, 2 deaths. But the way he was applying pressure on the map ended up really benefiting the team. They played really slow as well. So Spooky for Energy Pot. Like I mentioned, I do like them. Mid laners, I mean, you got Pretty, you got Leader. It's been looking really solid first 2 matches. Over 30 fantasy points in both matches, so it's been looking good. And then Lucchese for Wiz looked good against Mouse and played really well today again. So I do like him. That's really it on those mid laners. 80 carries. Tila, if you're playing the favorites, obviously you're going to like these guys. Like Smiley's probably the best player on his team. But like I mentioned, for upside, I don't think Gamers Origin is going to have it. But for safety, I do think they're pretty safe. If you're looking at guys like upside, you're looking at guys from, Mouse Esports with Jeskla. I mean, Fnatic just allowed 25 kills to Wizards. So they have been dying. Like, even the first game, they died a good amount too. And Mouse Esports is a team that will punish you if you expose yourself too much. If you have a nice little slip up, they'll take advantage of you. I think that's really it on 80 carries. Kind of just, it's the same thing, honestly, in and out. You're stacking your favorite, whether you're doing a 4-3 stack or I like doing 4-2-1s in GPPs. I kind of stack the team that I do believe is going to win, and then I'll go with like my another 4 players of favorites that I like, and then 2 of the underdogs. It's usually the way I like to go, and it usually benefits me pretty well. But Promise Q looks solid first 2 games out there. Doesn't have his stats like I mentioned, but he looks solid today as well. Yellow Star used to be a really good pro. Didn't look too good first time out, but maybe he'll bounce back if you're going to be playing that side of the game. And then Mystiques for RGO is not a bad play. A lot of these underdog, or they're toss-ups, so I would rather just play the underdogs, the ones that are slight underdogs, just because their prices are just so low. You can pair them up with any of the favorites, get a double 80 carry lineup or a double mid laner lineup, and if you win, if you got that slight edge, that's where your leverage is going to be. A lot of the guys are going to be playing those slight favorites. Play the slight underdog. You might be able to win yourself a big tournament. Obviously, if you're playing multiple lineups, that's what I recommend. If you're playing one lineup, just play it safe or play some of the better teams. Is what I always recommend. But that's really it. You'll see me playing a lot of Gamers Origin, since I do play at least like 10 lineups. Sometimes I play more. I will be playing a lot of Gamers Origin, Vodafone Giants, Mouse Esports, and then I like Energy Pot Wizards, RGO, and Gamer Legion for the upsets. They're only slight underdogs, so I don't want to know if they're really upsets. But I mentioned less lineups, play the safer plays, more lineups, take chances on some of these guys. It's a good day to do that. Thanks for watching. I went 4-2 in my picks yesterday. Let's see how I do today.